everybody, and welcome to episode 101 of the This Old Knit podcast. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Ine, on Ravelry, Instagram, and Pinterest, and you can find show notes for this episode and all previous episodes on the corresponding numbered thread of the podcast group on Ravelry. Oh my god, it's going to be one of those days. So I am recording a pretty impromptu podcast, and I'm in a slightly different location because the sun is in a different location than normal. So where I usually would sit, which is in that chair right there, this side of my face was extremely blown out. So I decided to scooch over a little bit and be on the purple couch, which was a gift from the lovely DG Lover 28, who's my friend Andrea. And it sits a lot lower. So my normal podcast setup, which is an ironing board and a box, is a little bit higher up, but I hope that you guys won't mind. I wanted to record a podcast before Rhinebeck week just because I don't know how much time I will have to actually record something. So I did draw 2 winners for the Stash Your Shelf Challenge for Q3, and I've already contacted both of them. So it was Wheels Wife and Nitty78. And they've both got in contact with me, so I will be picking up some kind of goodies for them at Rhinebeck next week. And I probably will send Nitty78's prize home with my mom because she, oddly enough, is part of my mom's knitting group. So, hey, saving on postage. So yours may be a little bit later, but I hope you don't mind. Yeah. So that's exciting, and I'm going to give people till probably Thursday, is I think what I said, for the Knit All the Rhinebeck Sweaters Cal, because I want to pick up something for that also at Rhinebeck, but I want to give people time to complete their Rhinebeck sweaters if they're actually going to Rhinebeck. I know that people are working away, trying to finish things up, so yeah, I want to make sure I give people as much time as possible, and I don't want to cut things off. However, if you are the winner of that prize, I will contact you, and I will need you to get back with me really quickly, because Friday, my mom and I will be going to Indie Untangled, and I got the tickets for the 3 to 5 slot, but I could not get tickets for my mom for anything except to the 7 to 8 p.m. slot. So it's a 2.5 hour drive for me. So we will be getting done around 8. We will be driving home, but that means best case scenario, we'll be home at 10:30, and then we're going to turn around and go for Rhinebeck the next morning. And that's a 2-hour drive for me. And we want to get there pretty early. So I'm probably not going to have time to check the forums or to coordinate with anyone, unless the winner happens to be somebody who's coming to Rhinebeck, in which case, hey, I will see you. I'm going to try to be around the podcaster meetup area around 1 p.m., which everybody said is the Hill. I've never been there before, so I don't know where that is, but I'm sure I'll see a lot of people. FYI, the kids are home. My husband is home. They're kind of going in and out, and they're being really, really loud today. So, I was going to start recording earlier, but my husband was blending. They were watching Shrek, and there was a crap ton of noise in my house. Anyway, that's that. And, yeah, I think those are the 2 cows that I'm drawing prizes for. And then the only other one we have going on in the group is the Forest Pig Mitten cow. I meant to do a random winner for one of the codes that Erica Mount gave to Kristen and I to give away for one Ravelry downloadable pattern from her shop, but I forgot, so I guess I will draw 2 next time. Forgive me. Yeah, so let's jump right in. I have two finished objects this week. So my first finished object is actually just blocked. I don't have the ends woven in, but I got a chance to block my washed out shawl. So here it is. This is a pattern by Hoki Locatelli. I finished this a while ago and I showed it on the podcast as being finished, but blocking it, of course, made all the difference. So it's huge now. So this is knit with 3 colors. This is Volenvine Yarns in the Blitz Space. This is the Evil Queen colorway. So it was one of her Once Upon a Time Club colors. And it goes into, oh shoot, it's one of her ACOTAR colors. I haven't read that series, so unfortunately I don't really remember the names. And the last one is Moonstone Dye Works in the Moondrop colorway. It's huge, guys. It's huge. I can't even fit it all in the frame. But it's going to be awesome for this winter. So that is that shawl. The second thing that I finished is my Rhinebeck sweater. So I knit 3 sweaters that I've completed for Rhinebeck, and it's actually going to be really cold. So I may not have knit heavyweight enough sweaters, but whatever. So this is the So Faded pattern by Andrea Mowry. This is my second So Faded, but this one I did full sleeves on, and my other one I did 3/4 sleeves on. So I did this one all in peaches, and for those of you who have watched before, you've heard me say these colorways a million times, but one more time, okay? So the first color is Peepaloo Fields in the Cobbler colorway. The second is Hedgehog Fibers in the Monarch colorway. The third one is Volenvine Yarns in the Angry Orchard colorway. The fourth one is Adelaide Cottage in the Lorelei's Dream colorway, and that one is my only sparkle one in this sweater. And then my final one is Volenvine Yarns in the Alchemy colorway. And I made the sleeves really long, so they actually come kind of over my hands for extra coziness. And it is going to be around 50 degrees, I think, for Rhinebeck, and the lows in the 30s. So really cold. So I probably will be wearing this with a shawl. I'm thinking that I will probably wear my Exploration Station shawl because it has Monarch in it. This is actually the leftovers from my Exploration Station shawl. So it's gray, rust, and Monarch. So there's one more color in there. Urchin? Yeah, I think it's Urchin in Hedgehog Fibers too. So it's kind of a creamy color with hot pink and brown speckles in it. But I think it will go very nicely with this. So that'll give me a little bit of extra warmth. And I could wear a long sleeve shirt underneath of this if I needed to. Oops, I forgot to take some stitch markers off there. And I will probably bring a fleece with me just in case. Yeah. So I'm really happy I completed that. I do have some ends to weave in, as you could see, but I will probably do those this week when my mom gets here, because I'll be taking days off when she gets here. So I'm not worried about it right now. Right now I'm just knitting some stuff. So those are my finished objects for this week. And then this side's sewing, so I'll keep going with whips. So since I finished that, I picked up an older whip thinking if I could complete this, I would also have a hat to wear, although it may not look very good with my exploration station, so I didn't really think about that. I don't know. Anyway, it's a sockhead hat, and it is knit out of Gnome Acres One Fine Gnome. I think it's the one with the alpaca in it. So this is her S'mores colorway. And I think I'm almost done with the part before I start the decreases. Need to try it on. I had sort of stalled out on it a little bit. I had been using 2 circulars, and I really did not like it with this particular yarn. It was pretty grippy, and I just wasn't enjoying all of the sliding I had to do. But I went and purchased a pair of 16-inch Licca needles, and for my friends who know me really well, they're probably thinking, what the heck, Nina, you hate knitting with 16-inch needles, because I don't like how short the needle tip is. The way that I grip my needle, I actually have it in my whole hand, so these, then my pinky's kind of resting and pushing on the cable. But for this one, I'm making an exception, and I think these will actually be really good hat needles, and I do plan on knitting some hats for the kids, and maybe a lighter weight or sock weight one for my husband as well, because he has I think his are all worsted or bulky weight, so I think maybe a sock weight hat might be really good as like a liner for one of those. And he has some issues with when he's wearing them, like his forehead starts to get itchy, and he's thinking about, well, he's actually started running. So I think a lighter weight hat would be really good for when he's running in the wintertime. So anyway, they're a reasonable investment given that I will make hats. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't use them for socks. But I'm knitting this on a 2.75 millimeter needle, and I did not change needle sizes between the ribbing and the hat itself because the ribbing is so long. I didn't want to make it really tight, so it's got a lot of space, and on it is also a little tea bag stitch marker, or sorry, progress keeper from Sugar Tots. Anyway, what's in here? Oh yeah, okay. And like I said, I'm running the Forest Pig Mitten Cowl with Kristen, who is the host of the Volenvine podcast. She just renamed it, which will be easier for me to remember because I often would say like Volenvine Yarns or Volenvine, and then I'd be like, oh crap, that's not the name of her podcast, it's Yarngasm. So it used to be the Yarngasm podcast. It is now the Volenvine podcast. So anyway, Kristen and I are both knitting these mittens together, and we're hosting a cowl, so please go double dip in her thread as well as my thread. I have a prize donation that I needed to mention, and I actually have a couple of prizes that I need to talk about, but the one that's going to be for this cowl, because I think between it and the giveaway codes, I probably have enough for this cowl, and the other one I will use for the Stash or Shelf Challenge. My interfacing is reflecting light up at me. So Coddington, who is Autumn, has donated a project bag for the mitten cowl. So I will insert a picture of it here. And as always, it's a beautiful bag. I'm really excited. And I told her to just hang on to it. And then when I draw the prize winner, she said she will send it to the recipient. So, yeah, thank you, Autumn, for the generous prize donation. And, yeah, you guys can enter to win that lovely bag, and then I know Kristen will have some amazing prizes as well. So here are my mittens. I'm knitting mine out of 2 colors of tuku wool, which is a Finnish wool. I started them on a 2.75 mil needle last night, and they were huge. Like, so huge that they probably would have been too large on my husband. I forgot that tuku wool is really beefy. So it is probably more like a sport weight, I would call it. It's really, really thick. And it's even thick and thin, so there are parts that are a little bit thicker than this. So it was just too big. So I went down to a 2.25 millimeter needle, so 2 sizes down from what I was previously knitting with. And even that, like, this is really comfortable. It's not really stretching at all to go on my wrist. But I know that there's not going to be a thumb gusset. This is just a straight up the hand mitten, so I think that will be good because, like, eyeballing it, it's about the right, yeah, it's the width of the largest part of my hand, which is what I need for this particular mitten pattern because it does not have gusseting on the thumb. It has an option to either do a sore thumb or an afterthought thumb. I'm going to do the afterthought thumb because I do think that that fits a little bit better than the sore thumb mittens. And yeah, so, but both things are in the pattern. So if you want to do, if you prefer one or the other, both of the options are in there. It actually has a lot of different options. So it has a small, medium, and a medium large size. Both are charted. It has a longhand and shorthand modification for the charts as well. So you can really customize this mitten to fit you without having to do all of the math yourself. So it's a really well-written pattern. So I'm still on what was Clue 1. I completed my Latvian braid this morning, and I'm about halfway up the first chart. I am making the 64 stitch variation, the small medium. This is a deer, so I've gotten up to the head of the deer. So this is its little prancing feet and its head, and it's got a little tail bump, but you can't see it. And then it's got 2 trees there, and the back is all trees. So I've gotten the first stand of fir trees done, and I'm starting the trunks of the second set. I really love how my colors are knitting up together. They're kind of subtle, which is what I was going for, but not enough so that you can't see the pattern. So these are Kayo and Anga. Anga is like the really deep chocolate brown, and Kayo, I'm probably not pronouncing that right, but I'm going by like Uyo, which is the one I actually looked up how to say, and that's the blush color. So this one is Kajo. It's kind of spelled similar, so I'm hoping that the J is pronounced similarly, but it's that blue. And I really want to make a sweater out of that blue color. I'm obsessed with it. So those are my Way Through the Woods mitts, a pattern by Erica Mount. I never said the actual name of the pattern. I keep calling it Forest Pig Mittens, and yeah. And it is in one of my bags that I sewed for myself, and I'm going to make one of these as a prize for the Rhinebeck sweater cowl. I've got it cut out, and I will show you that in sewing because I realized I had no zippers. Unfortunately, because it's Halloween time, is all I can assume, Joann's was sold out of all orange zippers. There were no orange zippers to be had, not a one. However, I do have the chocolate color of zipper, so that one will just have a brown zipper, but it will still have an orange handle because I have a lot of this orange ribbon, and I didn't want to buy more ribbon. So it'll have an orange ribbon, but a brown zipper. And it will have the inside the same as mine. It's the creamy colored pumpkins because I like lighter inside fabrics. You can see your project more easily and see what's in the project bag. If it's dark, it's easy to lose things in there. I've showed that. All right. Next up, this one is in a project bag that Kristen made. Is the sea glass top. So I am test knitting this for Meg, who is the podcaster behind Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits, and the dyer behind Bad Wolf Girl Studios. So she designed a racerback tank, and she's trying to release it, I think, by Halloween, the pattern. And she asked me to test knit it. So I am test knitting the top, but I am going to test knit the modification with sleeves. I'm going to knit the whole top first, and then she's going to send me the mod for the sleeves, but I will still be able to give her like my yarn usage and how everything turned out, and we've had, you know, some edits along the way. I feel like I'm showing you a bra. Yes, I'm knitting a bra. No. So I'm also going to fade it, which I think I'm the only tester who's doing that. Everybody else seems to be knitting it all in one color. So my first color is Sea Dragon, which is a colorway from Meg's shop. It's really beautiful. Look on the back. Like, no pooling or anything. It's just really pretty, kind of gray, green, and aqua, and some mint. So I've gotten to the part now where I'm just knitting around, which is what I wanted to get to, because this, I think, will be my Rhinebeck knitting. I don't know if I'm going to be doing all of the driving there in the back for Rhinebeck and India Untangled, but I'm hoping Mom and I will be able to alternate, in which case I may get some car knitting time. And if not, then I will, you know, have some time to probably knit while I'm waiting for her for India Untangled, because we'll have some time between my time slot and her time slot, and then for her time slot I won't be able to go in, so I will need to keep myself busy. So just knitting in the round forever and ever and ever, probably a good idea. Yep, so I've knit everything so far on a size 5. I have this stitch marker is actually from Meg's shop too. I don't know if she still makes these or not, but it's a golden snitch. It's a snitch marker. And since I was going with kind of a Harry Potter themed color, I figured it deserved a Harry Potter themed stitch marker. So there you go. I think I've shown my other colors before, but I'm going to be doing the Tequila Mermaid next. This is the one I'm going to fade into. But I think I'm going to get, I don't know, past the bust part, and then fade this for the middle, and then the lace edging I'm going to do in this one, which is a Knit Pick Stroll Tonal, and the colorway is Cucumber. So that's my 3 colors. That's my progress on my sea glass top. It's been a really fun knit so far. The test knit group is amazing. I had to turn off notifications though, for we've got like a chatter group of IM on Instagram, and I kept getting these notifications because like people will pop in at different times of day, and it was really distracting at work. So I turned them off, but I do check in with the group regularly. All of a sudden I have this frog in my throat. Sorry about that. And then in this bag, this is one that I think Kristen brought this for me from Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Yeah, it's a John Arbon Textiles bag. I've never tried John Arbon Textiles, but I would like to. And I think there might be some at Rhinebeck. So if there is, I might try some out. So this is a sock for my husband. If I would just knit on the same pair of socks, he would actually have a pair of socks almost done. But no, no. I'm channeling my inner Sarah, although she's now finishing all her pairs of socks. So I can't say that. Sarah from Love Sock Wool. And I get to meet her at Rhinebeck too. Oh my God, it's going to be so fun. Clearly these have gotten all jacked up. Crap. Okay. Cables. My cables have gotten bent. So these are just vanilla socks. This is Patons Kroy in the Woodsy colorway. It's one of their newer self-patterning socks, and I really like it. My intention was to go full all the way until I got another full repeat of the colors, but it was so long already that my husband was like, nah, just go ahead and start the heel. So I'm just doing the heel in the same yarn because I've noticed with his socks that when I do a contrasting color on the heels, that ends up being the failure point for his socks. And all the colors I had that would have matched were not like this really durable, beefy yarn, so I just went with it. He doesn't care about the stripes being broken up anyway, so it's the only reason I would have had for using a different color. And I put on it, it's backwards, a little stitch marker that I got from Shauna, Adelaide Cottage. This came with the Lorelei's Dream yarn that I used in my other sweater that I showed. I put it on there backwards, but it's a little alarm clock. It is a Gilmore Girls reference. If you've seen that episode, it's the dream where, or it's the scene where Lorelai has a dream. There's alarm clocks everywhere, and if you've never seen Gilmore Girls, I'm not going to spoil it for you what her dream was about. But, yep. So I need to finish that heel flap and gusset and get cooking down the foot because he has blown out 2 heels on previous socks, so he needs some new ones pretty badly. And it's getting cold. It's starting to get really cold here. So he needs socks. And then my last sewing whip that I'm going to show is Joshua's socks. So I have turned the heel on his teeny tiny heel. That is the heel that I turned. Oh my God, his feet are so small. They're so cute. So this is my first Regia. And I did the cuff and heel in No Makers. It was part of a doppelganger set. And so yeah, now I'm ready to pick up stitches for the gusset. And as with everything, I need to get going on those because he doesn't have any hand knit socks. Well, he has a couple pairs he's inherited from Megwin, but they kind of are a little too big still for him. So, I mean, he needs a pair that truly fit him for if it gets really, really cold for winter. All right. So, sewing. I have been planning some sewing, and I cut out a bunch of bags and realized I had no coordinating fall colored zippers. All my zippers are for Christmas bags. And I'm not making Christmas bags yet. It's not Christmas time until after Thanksgiving. I'm not going to start sewing Christmas bags yet. I'm just not. I'm going to enjoy autumn. So, the first thing that I'm planning on making is a pair of pants for Megwin. It is from this pattern, the Raven Hoodie and Pants by Clever Charlotte. And I got this material from a friend who was part of the Itty Bitty Knits groups. She sent me a bunch of stuff, a bunch of material and buttons and threads and all kinds of things. And this is just gorgeous. So it is a corduroy fabric. It's like a very fine corduroy. with these beautiful autumn berries on it. And so I'm going to make the pants out of that. And then for the hoodie, my husband has like a navy blue canvas that he made a bag out of, but he has enough to make that little jacket for her. And I think he might wax it so that it will be water repellent. And then we'll probably line it with some, maybe like this strawberry or the strawberry or the raspberry kind of red. I think that'd be really pretty. So that's the plan for that. And I need to get a move on because this pattern actually only goes up to a size 8. I think I'll have to combine it because, as I've said before, her waist is actually pretty small. But as far as length goes, she is wearing size 8 pants right now. And I think when I looked at the length, it was appropriate for the size 8. So, gonna make those. And then the bags I cut out. So I cut 3 bags out. I actually didn't finish the third one because I was annoyed when I figured out I had no zippers. So this is the first one, and it's not going to be this deep. But I was trying to figure out where I wanted to cut it because I think I will probably cut it along this line here. But I might cut a little bit lower because I don't want to have the fox get eaten up by the seam allowance. So I think what I might do is sew the zipper on the top and then eyeball how far down I need to go so that that box is on the actual bag and doesn't end up being on the boxed bottom. So I think in order to accomplish that, and isn't he so cute? I love his little rosy cheeks. I think to accomplish that, I may have to cut like halfway here. Because then once you box the corners, it really sucks a lot of it underneath the bag. There's one on the other side too. And I'm going to have to make it kind of thinner tall bag because this will all have allowance. But I didn't want to lose any of the fabric, so I kept the selvage edge on there because it would have had to be even thinner and taller, and I didn't want that. So anyway, that's going to be the outside of the bag, and then this will be the lining. So it's kind of the same color as the bird there. It's pretty like watercolors and scales. So yeah, that's why that one is not cut as fully as it would be. I want to make sure I make the most of it. Here's the fabric for the prize package. And I still have to interface all of these as well. I didn't have any interfacing that was the really beefy kind. This kind. Because I like my project bags to be able to stand up on their own. I'm not sure what other people like, but that's the kind that I like. So if you get a bag from me, it's going to be with the medium weight or heavyweight interfacing, not the lightweight interfacing. I do like the lightweight interfacing for certain kinds of bags. Like if I have a sweater, like this one is kind of floppy, and I can fold this up and put it into a larger bag because often, you know, I have to have my pattern and other stuff in it. But for my own bag making, it makes it a little bit easier to deal with the fabric and to line it up with the zipper and stuff. So I just like to interface the crap out of them. The other one is going to be gigantic because I wanted it to be huge. And my thought was that maybe it could double as a trick-or-treat bag for the kids. Because we have one that Megwin used last year. Looking over at it, I'm going to go get it. It is this one right here. So it is an Honest Company canvas tote with a big pumpkin on it. Every year they give away a trick-or-treat bag for free, or rather a Halloween themed bag, and I need to check because it's that time of year. So if they have one, you get a coupon code for it if you're a subscriber to Honest Company, which we are. We get our shampoo and conditioner from there, and their cleaning products as well. So we get a monthly box delivered, and you can change up what's in your box. So like I'll throw in toilet bowl cleaner or dish soap or laundry soap in as needed, and then I always have 2 shampoos, 2 conditioners. It actually saves me money because I stopped going to Target for it, and then I didn't end up with, you know, $100 of stuff in my cart to get $10 worth of shampoo. So, yeah. Anyway, tangent. So somebody's going to use that one, most likely. The other one has my blanket in it, and it's really big. So the tote from the prior year was a very large one, probably double that size. So a little bit too big. So I think this will be a bag for me, but I will use the stiffer interfacing, and then it'll be a trick-or-treat bag for the other child that doesn't use the one I just showed. So this is R2-D2s in like a sheet with then different costumes on top. And I'm also counting both of these for the Pumpkin Mow, the Pumpkin Make-Along in the Once Upon a Corgi podcast and the Stitching the High Notes podcast. They are co-hosting a pumpkin make-along so you can sew things, knit things, crochet things, probably weaving as well, and maybe cross-stitch. But any craft that is pumpkin related counts. So you can see some of those R2-D2s have little jack-o'-lanterns. But he's got a mummy, a witch, just a plain ghost. He's got spiders and bats. There's one with like a little moon, full moon and a black cat. It's so cute. And then the inside is going to be like this neon orange with little black spiders on it. So for this, I got a black zipper, and I will use more of that same orange ribbon as the handle. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to put a handle on both sides. I've never tried that before. I think it might look weird. Opinions? I think it's going to look weird. It would be okay if it was always going to be a trick-or-treat bag, but since it will instead be a project bag most of the time, I don't think I would like that look. So I think I'm going to stay with my traditional ribbon handle on one side. And they're just going to have to deal with it. Let's be honest here. I'm going to end up carrying Joshua's candy bag. It's going to happen because he poo-poos out after a little while, and then he's just walking around trick-or-treating, and I'm carrying his stuff. Yeah. Okay. And then as far as material, so I guess we can transition into acquisitions and gifts. I just went to Joann's and bought their Christmas pajama fabric. And I also am going to make some pajamas for a friend of mine who, there's a Polar Express train here in Connecticut that the kids all wear pajamas for it, and you go on the actual train and it is like the Polar Express. So she is going on it with her daughter, and she's been looking for a nightgown for her like the girl from Polar Express, and has never been able to find one. And I told her, like, yeah, the floor length, like, flannel nightgowns are super hard to find. Pretty much have to sew them yourself or buy them on Etsy. So yeah. So we teamed up to make her dreams come true. And so this is the fabric that we picked for that. And so I'm going to sew one of the nightgowns like I sewed for Megwin last year. I think it's going to be way faster now that I've done it once. And I have all the pattern pieces drafted. That's what took a lot of time. If you all watched my Vlogmas, you know what I'm talking about. And then the kids each picked out 2 kinds of flannel, which, whatever, fine. I don't mind. It's going to be colder this winter, and we're going to try our best to not have the heat on super high because we have oil here in our house, and I don't particularly want to burn more of it than I have to. We do have a pellet stove though, and we have a wood stove downstairs, so we're going to try to concentrate on using those more. So flannel jammies and sweaters and slippers it is. This is one of the ones Joshua picked. So it's like Space Invaders. He called it robots. Of course, he has no idea what Space Invaders are, but I do. So that's one of the ones. The other one he picked is this one. Yes, it is that bright of yellow. He was so excited when he saw that there was Daniel Tiger. And he loves to do nose nuzzles. Every night, every day, we have like a goodbye ritual and snuggle snuggle, which is like Ugga Mugga for Daniel Tiger fans out there. We do that every day. So I like that he wanted to have Daniel Tiger pajamas, so I will make some. And I'm going to make pants and the little button-up shirts this year. Yes, I will use my buttonholer, Kristen. I will do it. I didn't buy buttons yet, though. I can get those later. When I get that far. Megwin picked out Pokemon. Because apparently she's into Pokemon. I think her friends at school are into Pokemon. But she does draw Pikachu. She loves Pikachu. And yeah, if Pokemon had been around when I was a little kid, I would have been into it too. Because they're freaking adorable. They came into being more when I was in high school, so I was kind of past that stage. And she got some Gryffindor. So, Gryffindor jammies. Let's show it here without the selvage, shall we? And since they kind of go both ways, I'll be able to not worry too much about the direction of the fabric. I also got a 1/4 yard of the Marauders map, and then I realized it was jersey fabric. I was going to make a bag out of it, but now I don't know what I'm going to do. And she was already cutting it when I was like, wait a second, that's jersey fabric. But maybe if I use the hefty interfacing, might be okay. I don't know. If not, I might make shorts for Megwin or Joshua. Either one would work. But it's the Marauders map from Harry Potter. So I thought it would make a really cool bag. I've seen a couple people with it, and I've seen the print at Joann's that was on quilting cotton, and I swore that was what I grabbed, but it wasn't. I grabbed the knit fabric. Sew or fail. And then, yeah, just lots of zippers and other boring things. I did get this pattern because I liked the pajamas here. And it also has another long nightgown variant that has a collar. I think Megwin's does not have a collar. So it might be fun to try. And it does have a doll nightgown and doll pajamas. Do I want to make doll pajamas? No, I really don't. But Megwin was excited about it. She has expressed interest in learning to sew. So maybe this year will be the year that we will try to have her sew something. She's old enough. She can learn. And then I pre-ordered the Lane Magazine issue 6 from the Woolly Thistle, and I really love it. I'm excited to knit some things out of here, and I need to sit down and make my Rhinebeck list of sweaters that I would like to knit in the next couple of months and know what yarn that I need for them. I usually try to do that when I am going to a festival. These sweaters I would knit out of here. The Sideways by Joji Locatelli. It's cabled and knit sideways. There's some shawls that are really pretty. And then I think the Poet pullover is the other main one that I really, really love. Yeah. So this one I'm actually going to use stash yarn. I'm going to use my Knit Picks gloss in the pumpkin colorway. It's a discontinued colorway, but it's pumpkin. I've tried to make something out of it before, and I ripped it out. So, I also really like the Virginia pullover. I think it's knit in reverse stockinette. Yep. But it's pretty. It looks very relaxed and comfy. And that's it. And then I also picked up issue 2 because I didn't have this one in my library. Inside this issue is the Birkin sweater, which I already have that pattern. But Birds of a Feather is also in here, which is one that I do want to knit by Andrea Mowry. It's a shawl, so I will be on the lookout for yarn for that at Rhinebeck. And the other one I really want to make is the Uyo top. So this is knit out of the colorway by the same name in Tuka wool. So this is the color I'm using for my Yulebuck mittens. But I think this is the sweater I will knit with the blue yarn that I was talking about that I really want to make a sweater out of. So it's short sleeved, it has pockets, it's kind of tunicky, and then it has this nice little ribbed detail on the back. Really pretty. And then I also really love this one, This Summer Rain. Where's the Birds of a Feather? Birds of a Feather is knit out of fingering weight yarn and a coordinating color of mohair. There's also a Stephen West shawl in here, I think. Is it Stephen West? The Invincible Summer? No, it's not. It's not Stephen West. That's in issue 1. Stephen West has a shawl in there. Okay, so here's Birds of a Feather. My mom actually got yarn for this from Kristen in the Succulents colorway. So she got the mohair and the fingering weight Volca in Succulents. So maybe we can knit it together, Mom. That would be fun. So those are the main ones that I wanted out of here. But I love the Lane magazine. It's so pretty and they're fun to look through. They have nice articles in them from knitwear designers, and they each have like a longer article about a place. So that's fun too, to read about different places. And then the very last thing I have is, oh shoot, I only brought one of them. Okay, I'll show the other one next time, I guess. One of my Harry Potter mini skein swaps. This one is from Shank and Bradley on Instagram. Shank and Bradley Knits, I'm sorry, on Ravelry and Instagram. Who is Lindsay? Excuse me. So it is Honeydukes. This is a Lola Did It. Never knit with her yarn before. Night Bus, Bumblebee Acres Farm. I've knit a Hexie Puff out of this already. And it's still in the bag, so you can see. So I finished this one last night. And then I cast on the next one, Mad Eye Moody. No, Mad Eye Moody is brown, blue, black, and yellow. Okay, it's this one. It's Nomadic Yarns. Again, I've never knit with that either. Boy, I really need to gleaner this sweater. Okay, this one, which is on my needles right now, and now it's twisted up. Okay, this is the 3 broomsticks from Bumblebee Acres Farm. And she also gave me this little progress keeper that's the Deathly Hallows symbol. So cute. Well, this is a stitch marker. I keep just reversing them. Whatever I say, it's opposite. There we go. Now you can see it. Okay. And the last one, which is on my needles now, is Hogwarts Express. Also Bumblebee Acres Farm. And I've cast on and done just a teeny bit last night on that one. So thank you, Lindsay, for those. She also included some tea, Twinings Orange and Cinnamon Spice, and a Twinings Chai. And yep, still keeping them in the Ziploc. I probably won't now. Now I will put them in my little Hexie Puff bag because I've shown it on the podcast, so I don't have to keep them together anymore. So that is, I think, everything I had to show you guys for this week. So yeah, my mom gets here on Tuesday in the afternoon. She is flying instead of driving, which will probably be much better for her because it is a really, really long drive. Pennsylvania is a surprisingly big state. It doesn't look big on the map, but it is. It goes on forever. Yeah, so she's flying, so I'm going to go and pick her up from the airport at around 4, I think, and then we'll come back here, probably have some dinner, hang out, and then, yeah, I'm off the rest of the week and into the next week, which will be really fun, and she is staying until the end of the month, so she'll have time to hang out with the family, take the kids trick-or-treating with us. It's going to be a good time. I'm really excited. And I'm excited for her to see my new house, and we're going to go to Rhinebeck and Indy Untangled together. So yeah, I think that's everything, guys. Oh, no. Other prize donation. S. Kylie Knits very sweetly sent me a copy of her pattern of Just When You Think I'll Zag, I Zig. Which is a Gilmore Girls reference. And she also donated a copy for one of you to win. So I am going to use that as the Q4 Stash Your Shelf Challenge prize, along with probably something else, maybe holiday themed. Yeah, I don't know yet. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But, yeah, so thank you very much to S. Kylie Knits. And I'm sorry that I didn't mention that earlier on previous episodes. I kept getting I don't know. I kept forgetting to mention it. So thank you very much for the pattern. And thank you for donating a copy to the podcast. I really, really appreciate it. So I'm going to go now and get some food because I'm pretty hungry. And I will see you guys maybe next week. I will try to take some footage while I'm at Rhinebeck, so maybe I'll put together just a short vlog episode to give you guys a taste of what Rhinebeck is like. Maybe try to take some footage with my mom while she's here. I definitely want to try to record just a little bit of footage when I meet everybody, but I'm sure it's going to be like overload of knitter awesomeness because there's just so many people that I have known for literally years through Ravelry that now I get to meet in person, and I'm just, oh my god, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. So yeah, I hope you all get to spend some time doing the things you love, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye-bye. Yeah. You get in the corner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's Sissy?
That's Daddy. I think Sissy's upstairs maybe, or downstairs, I don't know.
Downstairs.
Okay, so you can go underneath.
Can I go?
Yeah, go underneath. Got it?
Here.
Try, buddy. Don't get it on the cabinet. Well, we don't have another one, so until we get it out of the wash. It's in the dryer right now.
Okay.
We'll just do a coarse filter with this one, and then we'll do steamer. Okay?
Can I do a steamer?
Yeah, you can do the steamer. All right. You all done? Should I finish up?
Oh, no. We aren't done.
Okay.